Welcome to the WNBA on NBC. It's Natalie, Esquire, and I'm joined by my fellow Leo queen, Terrika Foster-Brasby. Thank you so much for joining me, Terrika.
Hey girl, we are here bringing all this Leo energy.
Absolutely. And since we are talking about celebrations, though, some news has come down, Terrika. There is going to be a celebration next year in the Bay because WNBA All-Star Weekend is headed there, baby.
Hey, tell me where to go. Tell me where to go. Tell me where to go. I'm just getting prepared. I'm getting prepared now.
Oh, this is going to be so amazing, and I cannot wait to see it. You know, it's not that surprising that this is where the league landed. The Valkyries have been so exciting. They've been such an amazing story. And the players themselves, I mean, Neko Ogwumike was speaking at WNBA All-Star Weekend and said that the players have been talking, and, you know, a lot of them were saying that they thought Golden State would be a great place for All-Star to be. And so ask and you shall receive.
When I tell you, I was literally just at Valhalla last week covering Golden State in Chicago, and the atmosphere in that building is like none other. I was making a joke on social media and I tweeted at Liberty fans and I said, listen, I know Brooklyn is great, but Golden State is coming for your neck because everything about it, from the way that the fans have really gravitated to the theme, the entrance, just the Chase Center, there's a lot of space. There's a lot of things to do around the area. You and I were just in San Fran last year for NBA
Oh,
All-Star.
don't let the
So
people in the Bay hear you call it San Fran, girl. You better
oh,
call.
I'm sorry. People in the Bay, people in Golden State. Let me, my bad. You know what I'm saying? I don't want folks in Oakland to get mad at me. My bad. You know, I'm sorry. I apologize. People in the Bay. But the whole point is, it was a great time and it was a great atmosphere. So I have no doubt that the way WNBA shows up and the things that we do at All-Star Weekend is going to be just as fun and just as incredible in the Bay.
Absolutely. And you know what? At this past All-Star Weekend in Chicago, me and Violet, if you guys don't know who Violet is, I'm going to have to question your WNBA credentials. But no, that is their mascot, who they do not refer to as a
Yes.
mascot. So I don't even like saying that. But Violet was holding it down, and me and her was dancing. So,
Yes.
I know it's going to be great. And, this can now further my agenda of that we need to have a 3-point contest featuring Steph Curry
Steph
versus
Curry.
AG Fudd. And you know what? Like, it would be really dope too if we get that whole like Sabrina, Steph, and adding AZ to the mix because Sabrina is from the Bay, right? So it could be a fun party out there. But no, for real, I think it's dope
Yeah.
that it's going there. NBA All-Star Weekend was just in the Bay. What, 2 years ago was that? You and
Oh,
I were both there. Was that last year?
Last
Okay.
year, February, and we had a time. It was great.
We did. It's a great area. So I personally will really be looking forward to that. 'Cause look, I'm already paying homage with the purple in the background, the
See?
violet. So yeah, shout out to the Valkyries and the Bay Area. And look, there's a lot to be celebrating there because the Valkyries now in its second season as an
Mhm.
expansion franchise. They have clinched the playoffs the second year in a row, and they are like looking like they could get a top two spot, Terrika.
Yeah, like they have really shown up and shown out over the month of August, but really since that All-Star break. And it's because Gabby Williams has played phenomenally. It's because Tiffany Hayes is still showing that her 14 years in the league doesn't mean she still can't hoop. Veronica Burton, I mean, literally, this defense is one of the best defenses I've seen from a long time. They pride themselves on it. They run the table with them. They literally just held Dallas last night to their lowest scoring output of the season. It is hard to play Golden State when they are defensively locked in.
Which
So
is always.
yeah, I think that did I go away?
No, I said which is always, right? When
Oh,
you
I know, right? Which is always like it's hard to beat this team when they're defensively locked in. And I mean, I gotta give a shout out to Natalie Nakase Nat because honestly, I am not too old to have forgotten that at the beginning of this season, specifically around the draft, some of the personnel moves that were made, some of the people that were picked up and not picked up. Let's not forget, Flau'jae was supposed to be on this team, if I'm not remembering, and then somehow got switched to see, like, we all were like, what is happening in Golden State? And we did the same thing last year when we looked at the expansion draft, when we looked at the pieces. We were like, what in the world? I don't know if I understand it, but we're going to see what happens. And sure enough, what's meant to be is meant to be. What happens is a coach understood what she wanted, a GM understood what they wanted, the team understood what their identity was going to be. They play like it, and now look at them currently sitting in the 2nd seed, but could very well finish this season with a 1 or a 2 seed.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that. Shout out to Ohema as well, the GM, because, you know, Natalie was definitely questioned, especially around, like, even shout out to Caitlin Chen for Kate Martin, for her being cut, and keeping Caitlin Chen, who honestly some have put in the conversation for MIP, right? Like, she is balling out this season, and, you know, Ohema caught a lot of flack for the Flau'jae trade and just the way it was handled and went down, and, you know, but look, here they are, like, firmly in the number 2 spot, and this is just their 2nd year as a team. I mean, it's incredible. And when you look at this, you know, they, like I said, they have a very good chance of securing 2. They could get to 1, you know. They do have to face the Lynx, the team above them, and they haven't had success against them yet this season. They have 2 games against them, so that would be a good litmus test for them. But outside of those 2 games, the Valkyries have a much more favorable schedule to close the season than the Lynx. Yeah. So we shall see how that all plays out and if they can move up any further. But, you know, you just can't say enough about the Valkyries. They are currently on a 6-game winning streak right now. And, you know, this is their 2nd, like, kind of big winning streak of the season, Terrika. So 6 games right now. That's an active streak, right? And when you look at, like, the teams they're playing, because you can't just say, like, oh, they're just beating, like, up on teams that are, like, inferior and not good, you know? And they're doing it, like you said, defensively, because their offense, you know, sometimes is not, like, doesn't leave a lot to be desired, you know? And so, but that's why we can say defense wins championships, you know? But, like, look at how they've handled, you know, Dallas. And Dallas was, like, a team before the All-Star break. We were like, Dallas could be, like, real. And now, you know, they've handed Dallas these losses. We know, even though Chicago may be a non-playoff team, Chicago is not an easy team to play. They recently beat the Aces. You have Sydney over there doing her thing. You know, like, Dejanay Carrington came back into the mix, has added a lot to that team. You know, and even the Sparks, like, I know they're, like, on the outside of the playoffs looking in, but that's not an easy team to play. Like, Toronto, unfortunately, they're really depleted, you know, right now. We did hear that Slim is coming back, so good for them. But, like, honestly, these are not, I do not want people to look at this and think, like, this is just easy for them to do. And then they earlier had a 9-game winning streak earlier in the season, which included a road trip where they went 5-0.
Yeah.
Like,
Golden State is not playing.
The team is impressed.
This team is impressive. They are not playing. And again, we talked earlier about how important home court advantage is. Well, nearly 80% of their games that they play in the Chase Center and Valhalla, they win. Like, that is incredibly important. And you mentioned it. They have 7 games on their schedule left outside of the Minnesota Lynx against teams that are sub 500. And you and I have said this before, record doesn't always indicate the competition that you're going to face. But that's a really good, favorable schedule for you to have if you're trying to secure not only the 2 seed, but potentially put yourself in the right space to take the 1 seed if necessary. You get some wins over Minnesota that you're going to face twice and handle the teams that you're supposed to handle. You put yourself in a great position to be an expansion team with the number 1 seed, and that's something that we've not seen done.
Yeah, for sure. Listen, they were celebrating last night. They knew what the moment entailed. Tip Hayes was showing out as she likes to do. She was shooting from damn near the logo with Steph Curry in the building. He was so hyped to see it last night. But like, they understood, you know, the moment, you know? And so, yeah, it was just like, look, it was incredible to watch and see, you know, that they meet the moment. They meet the moment. They understand the moment. Natalie Nakase was like, there's no playing around. And like, look, honestly, if the Valkyries would have lost that game last night, they were going to still clinch the playoffs. Like, this is not a team that's in danger of not clinching the playoffs. But like, they treated it like this was a game 7 do or die situation. And like, that builds championship practices, right?
Yes.
And you know, it's so funny because Steph was there with like Gary Payton, and he was like saying that Gary Payton was saying like, oh, look, she too calm. She too calm. She about to pull up. And then she just pulled up. I mean, the building erupted, you know, and Valhalla, that's how it gets down there. So, you know, they have the flair. They have Gabby. She was sensational last night. She's locking down. Her name is in the conversation. She's the front runner for DPOY, you know, so that acquisition really paid off for them. Natalie Nakase is in the conversation again, a second year in a row for Coach of the Year. I mean, you know, Joe Lacob put some lofty expectations on this team. He put some lofty expectations on this team when they came, saying like they needed to win a championship in the first 5 years. And people were like, why would he do that? It didn't surprise me as someone who covers the Warriors. Like, I know how Joe Lacob gets down. But look, he put his money behind this team and where his mouth is. And Natalie Nakase, Ohema, Jess Smith over there for marketing, the players, everyone is executing on his vision. And while they have not won that championship yet, they are putting themselves in good position.
Nat, I am so glad that you brought that up, because I might have been one of the few people that was like, I love Joe Lacob saying this. Because what you have to do is set the tone and set the foundation from the beginning. You cannot come in with this soft mentality and say, well, we know we're going to give ourselves about 5 or 6 years to try to get it together. And then you're already starting off with a terrible foundation if you think that way. The fact that he's like, listen, we're ready to win now. We're going to try. This is the expectation that we want to set about winning now. And I think that right there puts some form of trust, not only in your leadership, but it also makes the players feel confident, because you look at this roster, and this isn't a roster that jumps off the page at you where you instantly say, that's definitely a championship team. You've got players like a Kayla Thornton, who was undrafted, has been in this league 11 years, and yet still plays high around the rim. You've got players like, again, a Tip Hayes, who retired and came back. You've got Gabby Williams, who I know everybody knows Gabby because of how phenomenal she's been, but she's spent a majority of her career playing in EuroLeague. EuroLeague isn't something that everybody is all down to watch. Right. So we know her because she's been amazing at UConn. We know her because of how she plays with the French national team. We know her because we know what she could bring. But this is our first time really seeing full season end-to-end Gabby Williams. And this is why folks were excited about it. I think everyone thought that Veronica Burton could be great, just needed the opportunity. Now she's got it. So again, when you got leadership that really comes out and say, this is the expectation we're going to set, and we don't really care about what other people on the outside think about it, your team starts to feed off that confidence, and this is what you get. And so I'm really happy for this Golden State team. I think they are truly going to make some noise. If you are a betting person, literally at the beginning of the season, the odds were like non-existent for this team to be a playoff team. Now the odds have them at third after Minnesota and Las Vegas for a championship this year. So again, the signs are pointing in the right direction. You got a 4-game gap that you got to close if you're trying to take number one. You can do it by winning those 2 games against Minnesota later after the FIBA break. But even still, they're locked in to me.
Absolutely.